This is the last video in a three-part series for English 1A about how to present evidence in order for it to be persuasive to a reader. This is based on the three types of evidence. The first is authoritative testimony, the second is anecdotal evidence, and this last one is statistics and research studies. Okay. So if we look at this, let's say this appeared on the page in front of us. What the hell does it mean? All right, so Intel Research Group in an Apple Commission study says that Apple computers were 50% better in 17 categories than IBM computers. First, we said in the previous, videos that it's a little sketchy, when Apple has the Apple Commission study that says Apple computers are better. But what we have here is that they're 50% better. But at what? Right? And then what the hell were the categories? Who knows? It could be anything. It could be that they are more attractive as a coffee table decoration, or that they hang better from the ceiling. You never know. So we don't know what the categories are. So we don't know what they're better at 50% wise. And additionally, I'd be surprised if Apple made a study and paid for it and said that Apple computers were totally crappy, right? So let's go to the next one. This is not a very persuasive piece of evidence. All right, so what is this measuring? 70% of respondents indicated that Ritalin changed behavior. So here we have a 70, it looks like a lot. 70% is a big number. It's definitely more than half, so that's good. But how many respondents were there, right? And who were they? What was going on that made it so that they indicated that Ritalin changes behavior? And changes it how? Good, bad? I don't know. Does it make people do something that is good for them or not? We don't know. So these 70% of the respondents, whoever they are, did indicate something, but the 70% is really not that persuasive because we don't know what the hell it's about. All right, so here we go. Questions to ask yourself about statistics. What do these numbers mean? What are the statistics measuring? Who performed the study? And how did they do it? And who or what was included? With the examples that I showed previously, we didn't really have any understanding of what was being measured, how many people were involved in the percentages of respondents. So if the numbers seem confusing, the likelihood is that the reader's not going to be very persuaded, especially if they stop and think about it. Sometimes people see numbers and they're just like, oh, facts, and they just kind of brush over them. That definitely happens sometime in reading. But if they are paying attention, they will want to know what the numbers mean, what they measure, and if it's a credible place that performed the study. We don't want another Apple Commission study saying Apple computers are awesome. We want to know that it's an independent place that is doing the research, and also that they're getting paid by somebody that is impartial or unbiased or doesn't have a stake in it. We also want to know a little bit about how they conducted the research, because there's a big difference. Let's say this study with people saying their opinion about Ritalin. Let's say that it was a study that was done, there was maybe 10 people, and it was, only done over a couple of days, and there was no control group, and they just sort of were sitting around at a coffee shop and pretending it was research. That's one thing, right? If you had, for example, a study where they surveyed 2 million people, we'd want to know that, and we want to know a little bit about how they did it and the credibility of the study. We want to know what it is that they're measuring and how they did it in order to really get how significant those numbers are. So I guess that's all. This is the last. So this is a review of the three types of evidence that we did in these three-part series. So we have authoritative testimony. The expert should be informed and impartial about the issue. For the anecdotal evidence, we want to have stories that show what it's like to be impacted by the issue. And for statistics, we want the study to be explained, who did the study, what they were measuring, and what those numbers mean. And we want those studies done by people that do not have a stake in the issue that would make it so. They wanted the facts to be a certain way, and to heck with the truth, right? So these are the kinds of things that you can do in your research essay to up the persuasiveness and make that good evidence that you researched or read in one of the books definitely more effective and reflect the kind of research that you did, the hard work you did, and also how good your argument is. All right, that's it.